Hey, we are ready to learn about some of the elements of poetry. Some of these are probably pretty familiar to you, but you maybe don't know how to pick them out when you're reading a poem. So that's what we're going to figure out how to do right now. For this activity, you're going to need some scissors, a glue stick, and some highlighters, markers, or colored pencils. These are the foldables I'm going to be using in this video. If you do have them, go ahead and get started cutting these out around this dark bold line. Don't cut on the dotted lines yet. It's a lot easier to fold and glue without doing that. And then over here, you're going to cut this one out along the dotted line and don't cut the pieces apart. At any time in this video, if I'm moving too fast and you need to catch up, just pause the video or rewind so that you can keep up with me. If you don't have this foldable, you can click the link in the description box below and go grab yourself a copy, or you can just keep watching and see what you learn. Hey kids, we are going to get started now with our elements of poetry. The first thing we're going to do, this is the section that we're going to glue down. So what we're going to do first is just flip it over, and then it's easier to fold on these black lines when you can kind of see them. And so we're going to try and fold right on them. And we're basically going to get them to meet in the middle so that we have like a little door that's going to open up. Once you've got that done, these will open like this. And so we are just going to put glue all over the back of this. You want to glue it down really, really well. You don't want any big clumps, but you definitely want to make sure that there's enough glue on there to stick it down. And then you're just going to stick this. And then I like to open it up and smooth it in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to lay this insert inside of it, and we want to make sure that this will close over it. So if it won't, you'll need to trim off a little bit of the dotted lines or a little bit around the dotted lines. But if you cut right on it, it should be good to go. Okay, now that we've got that glued down, we can get started with our lesson. We're going to look at some things that most poetry has. It doesn't all have it, but it's so common that it usually does. So we're going to be looking at rhyme, rhythm, and repetition. Now, you probably are familiar with some of these, and there's at least one that you don't know what it is, I imagine. This one, rhyme, loop, soup, hoop, words that have the same ending sound, usually found at the end of a line. We're going to do some highlighting, so we are going to go around this box. Rhyme, we're going to go around this with orange. And then over here, I'm going to highlight some of the important words in this definition. Same ending sound is super important because that's what a rhyme is. Here we've got an example, loop, soup, hoop. They all end with oop, even though we can see that OO, OU, and OO, they're not always spelled the same, but they have the same sound, and that's what's important in a rhyme. And we're usually going to find these rhymes at the end of a line of poetry. Sometimes they're in the middle, but most often they're at the end, so that's where we would look for them. So let's open this up now and look for some rhymes. We're going to look at this one as an example. Engine, engine, number 9, running down Chicago line. If the train should jump the track, do you want your money back? I'm sure you're already noticing some of these rhymes at the end of the lines. Right here we've got 9 and line. We're going to circle those to show that those are 2 rhymes. And then here we've got track and back. I'm going to draw a box around them to show that those rhyme as well. So there's some rhymes. Now we're going to take a look at rhythm. Rhythm is something that you're probably not as familiar with, but you definitely can feel the rhythm when you listen to a song that you like. It's basically the beat. So boom, chicka boom is the example that I put over here. It's just the beat of the poem heard in the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables. And you're probably thinking, I don't know what a stressed or unstressed syllable is. It's okay. You don't really have to. You just have to feel the beat. So we're going to underline beat and pattern. We are going to underline stress and unstressed syllables because that's really what it is, but you just kind of feel the rhythm as you say it. Let's open this up and take a look and see if we can find some rhythm. Okay, now I've made this easy for you because I've underlined and bolded the rhythm. Now remember, a syllable is one sound. It's one opening of the mouth, basically. So in the word twinkle, Twinkle. We have 2 syllables. So sometimes it may be a whole word that has the beat, and sometimes it may be just part of a word. So I'm going to actually put a slash through the stressed syllable, and it'll help us hear that beat. And I'm going to really exaggerate it as I say this poem. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. All right, so there is our beat. It's dun, 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 dun. And every line in this poem actually has the same number of syllables, which is actually pretty common in poetry for there to be patterns of syllables in every line or in different lines of the poem, and that creates a beat. Now, if we don't read it like that, it's harder to hear. If I just said, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are up above the world so high like a diamond. So if you're not really thinking about it as you're reading it and you're just kind of running the lines together, you won't hear that rhythm. But when you read the poem, you hear it if you read it kind of slowly and thoughtfully. You kind of hear that bum, 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 bum. And so that is what rhythm is. The next thing we're going to look at is repetition. You may not have heard the word repetition before, but it's actually a derivative of the word repeat. So if something is repeating, we say it has repetition. It's just repeating and repeating and repeating, or there are certain things that are repeating. So I put repeat, repeat, repeat. And what we're really looking at here is we're just looking at words, phrases, or entire lines that are repeated, usually to show importance. So a lot of time a poem is meant to give a message or give a strong sense of a feeling or paint a picture for the reader. So a lot of times poets will repeat certain words or even entire lines because they really want to drive home that idea to you. So we're going to look at things that are showing repetition. Peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold. Well, I've already seen some repetition here. I'm seeing peas porridge. And then here's peas porridge again. Peas porridge in the pot, 9 days old. Some like it hot. Okay, I'm seeing hot and hot. Some like it cold. I'm seeing cold here and cold here. So those are repeated. Some like it is repeated. Some like it in the pot. Some like it again. In the pot, 9 days old. And here we've got in the pot, 9 days old, 9 days old. So this whole little poem is actually just filled with repetition. Now, I don't know that it's really meant to signify any specific importance, or it's just a cute little nursery rhyme for kids. And because it's repetitive, it's easy for them to remember. So, but that's repetition. It's just repeating things. You have done a great job learning all about these elements of poetry, so the next time you're reading a poem in class, be sure to impress your teacher by pointing out some rhyme, rhythm, or repetition. And make sure you tune in to all my other videos on poetry and like and subscribe so that you can stay updated when I post future videos. Thank you so much for watching.